Wow. Come on, let's start. No, not here. Documents. Download. Not Telegram. Yes. Not this. Oh, Telegram documents. I downloaded, but not finding here. Okay, alright. So, going here. I starting. Science 77 pages are there. Alright. So, let's start. The note for a student. So this is a note act as a bridge connecting state information 360-degree view of comprehensive topic biotechnology, fourth industrial revolution, provides essential data initiative related to the topic. Now starting with the awareness in the field of IT, space, computer, robotics, nanotechnology, biotechnology and releasing the intellectual property rights. So what about the biotechnology? We are starting with the biotechnology. So area of the biology, which is a living process, organism or system to manufacture product or technology intended to improve the quality of the human life. Include the discipline like the molecular modeling, genomics, bioinformatics, biosimulation, and branches based are the blue technology for the marine, green for the agriculture, red for the medical, and white for the industrial. And the biotechnology in India is among top 12 destinations with approximately 3% share. An estimate to increase to 100 billions from the 7 billion. 5 major segments: biopharma, bioservice, bioagri, bioindustry, bioinformatics. Department of Biotechnology to promote the large-scale use, support R&D and the manufacturing of biotechnology. And BIRAC is the Biotechnology Industry Research Assistant Council to help the emerging biotechnology. So what are the areas? See, 12 destinations with approximately 3% share in the total industry. 3% is the share. An estimate to increase the $100 billion to 7 billion. 5 major segments: biopharma, bioservice, bioagri, bioindustry, bioinformation, and help emerging biotechnology enterprises and the Department of Biotechnology for the R&D. Now, biotechnology to address the various issues in India is the food security for the more production, pest tolerant, stress tolerant crop, adapting the climate change, drought resistant, tackling the disease, bioenergy, use of bioethanol and biodiesel, advancement of the drug manufacturing, biofortification, animal biotechnology, improve the productivity of livestock, and the bioremediation like waste management is there. Okay, so what are the challenges? Like R&D is not good, like Japan, USA is more better than us. We have just 0.67% of GDP. Intellectual property rights regime like section 3D of the Patent Amendment Act 2005 for the TRIPS, and compulsory licensing allowing the government power to the suspend a patent in a health emergency. Lack of marketization, lack of public awareness, and the less lucrative. Okay, so way forward, what we do? First, increase investment, collaboration with the between government and industry, funding mechanism, innovative ideas, and the ecosystem innovation by the involving scientists and extending reach to the biotechnology field. Now, Grocery is saying GMO is the organism in which the genetic material has been altered in that does not occur naturally. So, GM food produced from the using GM organism. Chromosome DNA is the tightly coiled to make a thread-like structure called the chromosome. Human beings have 46 chromosomes and nucleotide. A nucleotide is an organic molecule that is the building block of DNA, RNA. DNA is the deoxyribonucleic acid is the hereditary material in the most of living beings, and the RNA is the ribonucleic acid molecule are single-stranded nuclear. They are the hereditary material in the some virus. This is in the virus, and this is in the virus. See, and that is in the RNA and DNA both nucleotide. Okay, and the genes are specific section of DNA. It's involved the making RNA and protein. And genome is an organic complete DNA. It includes all chromosome which houses DNA and gene. It contains all the data that is needed to describe the organic completely. So gene pool is a collection of the different genes in the interbreeding and the population. So nucleotide base cytosine, adenine, thymine, guanine, and nucleotides and DNA structure is for the nucleosome and DNA and gene. Now allogenetic stem cell. So see, more stem cell and the specialized cell. So early stage of embryonic stem cell and the adult blood stem cell and the bone marrow, and different types of blood cells. So stem cell are special human cell that are able to develop the many different cells. So unique properties can divide over and over again they produce new cells, and they can change into other types of cells also. So the embryonic cells are the supply new cells for the embryo and develop a baby. So it is said to be pluripotent cell. And the adult cell is new cell as an organism grow and to replace cell get damaged. And adult cell to be multipotent, which means they only change into some cells and body not cell. For the example, skin is the stem cell providing the epithelium. So different type of cells that makes the our skin and hair. So induced pluripotent cells are the stem that scientists make it laboratory. Just embryonic stem cell, they are pluripotent, so they can be developed into any cell. So embryonic cell is what? That is the pluripotent. So E is the P. Okay, embryonic is the pluripotent cell, and we can get the stem cell by the adult blood sample like bone marrow and different type of blood cells also. An early stage of embryo is very good for this finding the stem cell. Now what are the research here? See. So, cell therapy is known for the regenerating medicine, promote the repair response, disease dysfunction in injuries and tissue. So, researchers grow cell in the then stem cells are the manipulated to specify into a specific type of cells, muscle cell, blood cell, nerve cell. Two of most common types of the stem cell transplant, autologous and allogeneic transplants. And autologous transplant uses a person's own stem cell treatment, while an allogenic procedure is the donor cell. So research to help the understanding the basic biology of the how living things work and what are the happen different type of during disease. So therapy to replace lost or damaged cell and body can't replace naturally. This can help in the treatment of virus disease and cardiovascular disease and autoimmune disease. So the safety of the patient, immune rejection of donor cell are most immune system for post transplantation of the primary concern. Ethical concerns are the involving destruction of human embryo was and remain a major factor that has slowed down the development of stem cell and clinical therapy. Limited technology to generate the large quantity of the stem cell. So what do you want? Better regulation, clinical research, product developments, and the level of manipulation. Informed consent for the trials. Research should be described risk, prospective benefits in the realistic manner, and broader range of information. Scientific consideration, investigation, addressing the ethical dilemma. National guidance for the stem cell research for various stakeholders. Address the permissible, impermissible category. So genetically, next one is the genetically modified crops, GMO. Very important topic, GMO. Okay. So what is GMO? It's a ecological concern gene flow due to the cross pollination for the traits involving resistant can result in development of tolerant or resistant weed that are different to eradicates. So they would lead to erosion of biodiversity and pollution gene pool of endangered plant species. Biosafety concerns like gene transfer involve the risk of toxicity due to the nature of the products and change the metabolism. Newer protein GM crop which has been considered as a food have a risk of becoming allergies. Genes used for antibiotic resistance have transfer of such gene to microorganisms, thereby aggravating the health problems such as antibiotic resistance bacteria. So social economic concerns, risk and patent enforcement can oblige farmers to depend on giant engineering companies such as the Monsanto for the strain when the crop are cross pollinated. These plants may be viable for only one growing season and would produce the sterilized seeds. So farmer would need to buy a fresh supply of seeds every year. Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change cleared the proposal for the GM soya meal on the ground that material was non-living. So genetic engineering committee was a special what was a special under the ministry entrusted to govern matter related to GM crops and bypass given the non-living nature of the material. Soy meal is the protein-rich solid leftover raw material after extracting oil from the soya meal seeds. It's a major ingredient of poultry feeds. So GM crop is carry the gene and other specific artificially inserted into them. USA, Brazil, Argentina, India, Canada have the 5 GM crops growing country together accounting for approximately 90% of GM. BT cotton is the only GM crop that has been approved the commercial. So single gene is isolated and modified genetic material. Then many copies of the genes are inserted into the plants and cell and induced to grow. So isolated targets gene, plant tissue and seeds from the mature plants are studied for the successful transformation of plants with the new traits. So the GM mustard and the Dara mustards hybrid 11 developed by the Delhi University in pending for the commercial release as a GEAC has advised to generate the complete safety assessment, and the GEAC has allowed biosafety research and new transgenic variety of the indigenous developed brinjal, namely the Janak and stage during only the taking known from the state concern. Policy framework for the GM crop is rule governing the handling the GMO and produce thereof were notified under the Environment Protection Act. Guideline, Ministry of Environment and Forest and the Department of Biotechnology are reasonably for the implementation of the regulation. Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee for the approving the commercial cultivation of GM crop as well as the manufacturing, import and selling of processed food and met the GM ingredient. GM food import required approval under the 2 law EPA and the Food Safety and the Standard Act. So Codex Element Commission, it's a joint FAO intergovernmental body responsible for developing the standards, code of practice, guidelines, recommendation for the Codex Element. And Codex developed principle for the human health. So better tolerance to different harsh climatic conditions like cold, heat, drought, salinity. Improved crop protection like increased resistance against the plant disease or throw, increased tolerant toward the herbicides, promotion of the eco-friendly practice such as no-till farming and practice, and reduce the uses of pesticides and the herbicides. So improve the agriculture performance with less labor inputs and less cost input. So focus on the GM technology, national policy on the GM crop. GM crop was sometimes got wrong. Liability should be filled with the statutory like US law. Stringent regulation with the advanced biotechnology. There is urgent need for the stringent regulation of scrutiny of environment safe agro products. Genome editing is the Department of Biotechnology. Antigen receptor and T cell is there. So chimeric antigen receptor was the conducted. So it's about the chimeric anti-receptor. It is way to get immune cell called the T cell to fight cancer by editing them in the lab so that can find the destroy cancer cells. T cell are the taken from the patient's blood and changed in the lab by adding gene for the man-made receptor called the CAR, man-made receptor. So this help the better identify the specific cancer antigen. CAR T cell are given the back to the patient. So it is also sometimes called the type of cell based gene editing because it involves the altering the gene inside the T cell and help them attack the cancer. So remove blood from the patient to get the T cell. CAR T cell bind to cancer cell and CAR T cell into patient, then grow million of the CAR cells and make CAR T cell into the lab. It's a CAR T cell for the chimeric antigen receptor and the antigen. So genome editing is a way of making specific change in the DNA and the cell. This allows genetic material added the removed altered particular location of genome and a 3-stage complex mechanism unwinding, cleaving, rewinding DNA to bring the desirable change in the genome. And genome editing use a type of enzyme called the engineering nucleus which cut the genome in a specific place. Engineering nuclei are made up the 2 parts, a nuclear part that cut the DNA and a DNA targeting part that's designed to guide the nucleus to specific sequence of DNA. After DNA specific place, the cell will naturally repair and cut and repair process can be manipulated to make the changes. And DNA is the location genome. So the small DNA changes are the cut, repair, introduce the mutation, and cut DNA and join together, and then cut the DNA and templates and the insert it. So the different in how they recognize and Protein base contain the protein that recognize and bind together DNA cut. RNA base contain a short sequence of DNA, RNA that bind to the DNA. Ethical dilemma principal concern include the morality of eugenics, helping the fittest to survive, ongoing clinical debates about the informed consent, religious debates, and possible rise of clones, designer baby, possibly superhuman. So the safety concerns are met at the smallest cellular level. Potential loss to the diversity, genetic engineering of species will have to be detrimental effect on the genetic diversity. The appropriate biotechnology revolution seem imminent and the undeniable. So passing needs and therefore demand a harmonious and the regulated translation of needs aspect of genome editing and molecular medicine and non-clinical crop and the food industry. So the CRISPR DNA targeting parts of the system, which consists of the RNA molecule and the guide designed to the bind is specific DNA based through the complementary pairing. So Cas9 is the associated protein 9 and its nuclease DNA. Nobel Prize in the chemistry awarded for the discovering the CRISPR-Cas9 DNA binding for the zinc finger protein, with the each binding to about the DNA bases. The nucleus part of is normally a nucleus which cuts the DNA, and DNA binding domain as the talane is made of transcription for the like effective domain. So it's a nucleus part of the talane. Now it's for the research for the change in DNA cell and to understand their biology, to agriculture, genetically modify, improve their field and resistance disease and growth, and well generally modified it process thereby the embryonic cell are cloned and obtain the biological organ for the transplantation. Genome editing being the modify human blood cells that then put back into the body to treat the condition including the AIDS. Okay, so next is genome sequencing. India Jain program, the Council of Scientific and the Industrial Research CSIR is for the 6 months, and the result of the recently published undertake whole genome sequencing of the 1,000 Indian individuals. So CSIR, the conclusion whole genome sequencing from the different population, 3% of the genetic variation in India genome sequence unique compared to the global genome. So genome sequencing means the deciphering the exact order of the base pair in the individual. This data can be analyzed to understand the function of various genes, identifying the genetic mutation, explore how the mutation impacts the gene function. Technological issue like the selection of analytical software to speed up the overall procedure using high performance computing technology, data storage solution. Financial issue because of the limited finance resources, and legal issue data piracy bill is yet to be based. Anonymity of the data and question of its possible use and misuse would need to be addressed. So the cyber security is the cyber reports for the India staying third in the world among top 20 country. So in internet crimes are CSIR first sequence India genome. It's only the laboratory have been the scale of the world genome sequencing funding technology, and India should also go for the private funding. Understanding the Indian genome variation, understanding the epidemiological genetic disease, cost-effective genetic tests, carrier screening, determining the changes, having a child with the genetic applications, and pharmacogenetics study of how genes person responds to the drug, understanding the genetic diversity, making the genetic variant sequence, and the anthropogenic distinct population, and understanding the genome study the entire genome sequence with help scientists understand how to genome work together. Now Biotech Pride Guideline. So Biotech Pride promotion of the research and innovation through the data exchange guidance developed by the Department of Biotechnology, Ministry of Science and Technology, released recently. These have been formulated in conformity with the principle of the National Data Sharing Accessibility Policy, sharing the storage biotechnology data, and no guidelines are there yet. So we want to provide the guideline. Protection and privacy, confidentiality, transparency, engagement, and data must be high standard and verifiable. So under the guidance, it is responsibility of the data generator, producer, and submitter to the deposit data in appropriate database. Notify the repository. Data withdrawal may be granted in the individual organization whose data have been placed on a public database. So the justifying request directly through the submitter, and guidelines will be implemented Indian Biological Data Center and the Regional Center for the Data BioGrid. So BioGrid will be the national repository for the biological knowledge, information, and data generated, enabling the exchange of facilitated research, innovation, safety, standards, qualities, detailed modalities and assessing the data. Open access, all data under the open access category generate funded the research and scientific community, fair, findable, accessible, and the reusable. Manage, assess, shared with the spatial characteristics. Import data, produce the generator, submitter. It is the data generated using the public fund and assess the use of such data as to establish the funding agency. No access to sensitive data shall not be permitted even using the funding. So next one is cryptocurrency and at a glance. So it's a cryptocurrency and its working methodology. Cryptocurrency is a digital virtual currency for the cryptography. A currency satisfies all the major functions of money, acting unit for account, store value, and standard of deferred payments. So its generation, they get generated through a mining process of decentralized distributed ledger, and distribution, they can be traded cryptocurrency exchange or exchange of peer-to-peer basis. Maintenance, blockchain serves as a distribution ledger for maintenance of the records and transaction. The change of the immutable subject to approval of the large section of participation in the chain. Salvador became the first country to adopt the Bitcoin as the legal tender, but the same cannot be expected from of the economically stronger country like the India, US, and Japan. So cryptocurrency as a tool of the economic empowered, elimination of the middleman, effective serving of the functioning of the money, enhancing the security and payment system, being enabled to the financial inclusion, empowering business and completion of the technology evolution, creating the tool for smart contract, and overcoming the issue related to the banking infrastructure and the discrimination regarding the access finance, enabling cryptographic encryption to protect against the childbirths, and it's a reduced leakage and increasing the transparency. Okay, so controlling the macroeconomic variable like money supply, inflation, and the advent of alternate currency. Checking the misuse of technology, criminal activities, terrorist financing, managing the cybersecurity issue like the suspected hackers and malicious user, ensuring that the advent digital currency does not create a new divide, and the limited financial inclusion technology assess. So weaponization of the cryptocurrency is the context of geopolitics. Looking ahead, cryptocurrency have been empowered high potential for the use of outside economic disclosure in the social sphere. So cryptocurrency mining major factor the carbon dioxide and emission and alter the global currency exchange mechanism and hence the geoeconomics. So balancing the regulatory challenge of the potential benefits of the cryptocurrency, mastering the regulatory sandbox by adopting the regulatory approach which involve the rapidly and fix problem along the way, exploring the idea central bank digital currency and enable precise macroeconomic and help to increase the efficiency, then preparing the ecosystem for the digital, increasing the digital penetration, improve the financial literacy and cyber security system, involving the private sector and encouraging the innovation, and evolving the monetary policy and the digital age for the redesigning the mechanism and experiment finance elements, and now maintaining the international collaboration and financial stability. So looking ahead, we can say India can become a tech powerhouse for the innovation with adoption of crypto policy. No fungible tokens are the emerging as a new idea for the going beyond cryptocurrency, parallel to the physical ownership of the digital worlds. Okay. So now national strategy of the blockchain. So what are the blockchain? First of all, we can discuss client initiative, the transaction, peer-to-peer network, validations, variation and adding to the ledger, then stakeholder verify the transaction details. So there is a peer-to-peer network, then validation, then clients initiate the transaction, and then the variation. So this is blockchain is a database to list of records of the ledger, keeps the growing more entirely edit, and which is the distributed copies of the entire database are stored and multiply computer to the network and sensing which minutes seconds. So the adjustable transparent records stored the database may be made visible to relevant stakeholder without risk alteration. So highly secure, malicious actor will never be attacked to the computer, and aid the immutable also. The mathematical algorithm make it possible to change, delete or data, so it's not be possible. SWOT analysis in the blockchain, like the distributed resilience, control, decentralized network, open source, security and modern cryptography, assessed asset provenance, native asset creation, dynamic and fluid value. So what are the weakness are the lack of the ledger interoperability, customer unfamiliarity to the poor user experience, lack of interledger and interledger governance, lack of hardened like tested technology, limited smart contact with and wallet and key management, poor tooling and poor development, and the skill scarcity and the immature scalability, lack of trust. Now Mighty is there. So Mighty is going for the blockchain. Blockchain is essential digital ledger transaction that duplicate distributed across the network of computer system, and it's a specific type in the which blocks are linearly connected, and this may be the blockchain and DLT for the platform are not blockchain, but each block in the chain contain a number of transactions and time when new transaction occur, and blockchain records. So there are some records and added to the every participant ledger. Copy of the each transaction along with hash stored to the ledger shared across all participants of network. Salient property of the blockchain technology are user anonymity, cryptography, security, immutability. Entry cannot be changed without the repeating it. Shared reads and write, accountability, transparency, and distributed ownership. Blockchain was first introduced in the design development cryptocurrency Bitcoin, allegedly by the Japanese entrepreneur Satoshi Nakamoto. So potential blockchain is the transfer of land records, digital certificates, birth, agreement, death, pharmaceutical supply chain, e-notary service, e-sign, farm insurance, identical management, power distribution, supply, e-voting, electronic health record management, digital evidence management system, public service delivery, IoT, vehicle life cycle management, chit fund operations, and the micro finance, self-help group, and the data agriculture. So importance of the blockchain is the blockchain can bring the value addition in e-governance and the accountability, transparency, building trust, speed of the transaction, protecting sensitive data during the code, improving the efficiency, no middleman in the transaction, protect business from the frauds. The blockchain is the open source ledger which easy to identify frauds and transactions. Blockchain business value are the 10% of the total global GDP and stored the blockchain by 2025. So technology is for the performance like replication of data and each node, well calculation associated with encrypted and decrypted hashing every nodes and capacity. This may lead to performance issues, scalability, variable requirements for the processing power, network bandwidth, and block size effect. Storage is good, like blockchain become the perpetual, also such data is replicated at all the nodes and this demands the heavy sources. Now transaction detail interoperability. In order to get the benefits of interoperability across the similar application transaction, and certain classes of the application have to be involved. Legal implication challenges the privacy regulation, decentralization of every nodes create a privacy challenge. The state of regulation and compliance. Blockchain is the ambiguous. Right to forgotten is the prevailing feature of the draft personal data protection bill. Blockchain where data cannot be deleted and the history of the data is always accessible. So digital signature, it is a core part of blockchain network and the application. So exists no detail of the information technology but involving the immovable property will negotiable instrument. So provision exclude the applicability of the technology. Localization, data redundancy are stored across all the nodes and blockchain network. The technology is the hurdle, so lack of skill is an awareness we need more. Global efforts like the European Blockchain Partnership to use the blockchain distribution ledger technology developed by trusted, secure, resilient European blockchain service is there for the cyber security, interoperability. Keyless signature infrastructure is the blockchain technology for the Estonia proved the authenticity of the electronic data. United Arab Emirates for the smart Dubai is the aim to become a first city fully powered by the blockchain by 21 and enhance the every healthcare education. MIT has supported a multi-institutional project titled Distribution Center for Excellence (CDEC), and the research banking is the Veer Mata Jijabai Technology Center of Excellence Blockchain Technology. Objective included accelerating adoption and development of blockchain. Niti Aayog blockchain promoting the technology decentralization. RBI is exploring the blockchain. Now government is not create any framework for the time being for the ecosystem, but integration of important national level service blockchain like e-sign, e-praman, DigiLocker. Focus on research like interoperability, standards, scalability, performance, consensus, and the mechanism, security, privacy, and the key management, secure smart contract. Consultant service can be offered like the architecture and blockchain-based application, different ministry. Capacity building promoted the conduct the short-term course and bootcamp. Explore the potential blockchain technology for the various sector like the agriculture, health, and energy. So non-fungible token, this question is very important nowadays. Non-fungible is the threat of money laundering is there, no legal protection available to the customer event of fraud, and the unclear tax implication related to buying of NFT with the cryptocurrency. And there's no eco-friendly like NFTs transaction on the Ethereum networks and consumes that equivalent of the daily energy used by the 2 American households. So it's based on the Ethereum and American household. There is the threat of the money laundering. There is the no legal protection given to the customers, and there is the unclear tax implication in the NFT. So NFT is a cryptocurrency exchange. WazirX has launched a non-fungible. Who launched it? WazirX. WazirX launch a non-fungible token market for the Indian artists. It's a non-fungible token. It's digital object that can be drawing, animation, piece of music, photo, video with the certificate of authenticity created by the blockchain technology. It's based on the blockchain technology. Okay, so simple NFT is unique proof of ownership over something you can't usually hold. A piece of digital art and digital coupon, maybe video clip. The virtual object, which is actually a computer file, can be exchanged or sold with a certificate. So tokenization, these assets allow them to be both sold, trade, and more efficiently while reducing the probability of frauds. So it can be used to represent the people, identify and property and rights and more. So our NFT has the unique quality and a distinct value from any of the similar token. The metadata NFT is the unalterable record skin that gives its certificate of authenticity, digital, rare, and be sold to or purchased as a whole as they cannot be divided, unlike the fungible token. So it seeks to solve the problem of ownership, tackling value storage and decentralization. Monetization, artists, musicians, influencers, and sport is the using NFT to monetize the digital goods, and authenticity is the contemporary artists can now achieve their collections and the blockchain and have NFT to authentic their work and ensure no fake exists. Future NFT can still be copied of the course, but only one file of certificate authenticity. So the protection intellectual property right of artisan NFT to verify the original work, and it's a and surprisingly large amount of being NFT network. These price together with the uncertainty of new technology, so raise potential legal ability, creator, buyer, and market piece, and need for the government to lay down the framework to the regulate cryptocurrency and the other digital currency available in the markets. Fungibility refers to the asset ability to exchange with the similar assets. And for example, 100 note is fungible. So it's a person have a 100 bill and another person also have a 100 notes. They could interchangeable the bill and the value does not change. So NFT are not fungible as they cannot be traded directly with each other and because of the unique. So quantum computing. So Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology recently launched the quantum computer simulator toolkit. It's a allow the researcher student to write the debunk quantum codes for the developing quantum algorithm and carry out the research in the quantum computing for the cost effective manner. The design development quantum computer toolkit simulator and the capacity building. So as a quantum computer harness the unique behavior of quantum mechanism can apply computing. This introduce the new concept of programming. Quantum computing equips the basic units of information, area of the qubits, the method of the qubits, and the classical computer are the program and send the instructions. So the optimization, it's the process finding the best solution to problem desired outcome and constrained by the running quantum-inspired optimization solution way to manage the complex system and traffic flow, airplane, and the get assignments. Now, search is the quantum algorithm developed that dramatically speeds up the solution to unrealistic data search. Running search now. Cryptography is there to integrating fictional discrete logarithm problem can be more effective. Quantum computing, quantum machine learning is their device implement the quantum software where to enable faster machine learning. Quantum simulations, quantum computer works so well for modeling other quantum system. Example of quantum system we made include the photosynthesis and the superconductivity. And now key distribution utilize the unique property of the quantum mechanism, generate the distribution, cryptocurrency, and key material secure the communication. So quantum mechanism is related to term of concept. Quantum mechanism explain the nature of the behavior of matter and energy for the atomic subatomic level. Quantum is the smallest possible unit to physical property, usually referred to the atomic, subatomic, particle, sub-electron, and neutrino photons. So superposition, in the superposition, quantum is the combine of the states and is one way to picture difference between the binary position. Superposition is the imagine coin classical, like flipping the codes, getting heads and tails, and if you were able to look at the coin and see both heads and tail at the same time, as well as the every stage between would be superposition. Entanglement is the ability to quantum particle correlate measurements and is influence to each other. Measurement from the cubic can be used to draw the conclusion, and entangling the cubic to system, quantum computer can calculate the information. Now decoherence, the interaction of the qubit with the environment in way that cause their quantum behavior to decay and ultimately is called the coherence. The quantum states extremely fragile. The slightest vibration change in temperature and now known the noise in quantum speak can cause them to tumble out the superposition their jobs and being proper done. Quantum supremacy is the point at which quantum computer can compete in mathematical calculations and demonstrate beyond the reach of each of the most powerful supercomputer. So step 2, government India advanced the quantum computing national mission on quantum computing for the 8,000 crore missions. Quantum enabled science and technology, and the quantum frontier mission for the innovation and the advisory for the Prime Minister technology and the initiate work for the understanding control of quantum mechanism system. MIT established a quantum computing application lab to accelerate the computing led research and the development enable. India Space ISRO is the collaborating to research institute to develop the secure quantum computing space. Now the fourth industrial revolution is there. So integration of technology, enhance customized offering, changing situation and requirements. Benefits of business like the lead the supply chain miracles, efficiency, and the transportation communication cost will be reduced. Engage with the government voice in the opinions and result in the net increase safe rewarding of the job potential for the raise global income levels and allow to the remotely also. So rising inequalities, we want to reduce that rise in social tensions, we want to reduce this with the digital technology, and we want to content fueled by the digital technology. So high skill will segment the new industrial revolution. Privacy concern will be managed protection the sensitive personal information, and surveillance like government gaining new technology power digital infrastructure. Threat or to national security is the new technology such as autonomous biotechnology weapon, and way forward is social security benefits and low skill pay worker. New education program is there, and government where regulation adapting the fast changing environment and personalized opportunity. Artificial intelligence is the US India artificial intelligence has launched by the field AI. It's initiated the IUSSTF will serve as a platform to discuss opportunities, challenges, and barriers. Bilateral AI R&D collaboration, AI innovation share idea for the developing AI workforce and recommend modes mechanism. We will provide the breakthrough solution in the agriculture, energy, climate change, and affordable housing and smart city. So computer vision, audio processing, natural language processing, knowledge representation, machine learning, expert system is a virtual agents identify and analyze cognitive robotics, speech analytics, and the recommendation of the system for the data visualization. Artificial intelligence we can use in the healthcare system like IBM Watson Health Google DeepMind, early detection, Fitbit watch, treatment of AI robots, drug research, education. We see the MOOC, great tool, Project Essay, great tool, and Intel Matrix, practically Hyderabad-based firms using the chatbox and the evaluation and the AI-enabled digitalized checking and handwritten answer sheets. AI-enabled agriculture robotics tackle the labor challenges, predictive analytics enable rights decision making, AI for intelligent spraying of the chemical, quality checks and the predictable equipment's failure in variable management, price forecast, predictable maintenance and the response real-time change in the supply chain. And energy is the fault prediction and the anti-theft technology, maintenance of the facilitated image, energy efficiency, Alexa and the Google Nest using. Personalized banking is the fraud detection and the automations can be used to examine cash accounts and credit accounts, investment accounts, and the facial recognition, speech recognition, and predictive analysis. So it is a branch of computer science concerned with the making the computers mimic human-like intelligence. In contrast to normal hardware and the software, AI enable a machine to perceive a response to its changing environment. AI has the potential to boost the national growth 1.3% and 957 billion. AI collaboration supportive modes like AI performing along with human, facilitating human judgments, providing the resource, reimagining the business. AI perform activity go beyond the cognitive ability. AI humans are for the situation response. Ethical concerns are there, like about the potential negative consequences of AI, fake nefarious use of facial recognition, data management, like lack of clarity of the data and the mystical data colonizations. Also biosadness also they're like AI is the bio said by the making the from adopt the stereotype and in society transfer to be the develop make decision based on them. Accountability of its assigned task sometimes should be made responsible. So regulation and the policy is very important. Ensure safety of the people, protection, privacy, making people aware of technology, create confidence. Azilomer AI principle is for the Future of Life Institute, a non-profit organization, could be used to guiding principles. Following set of ethical principles like minimizing the biasness, arrest the inequalities, discrimination. Robot should act as in the best internet's human interaction with the robots and research and development. Government has major role in the play R&D and innovation and international collaboration. So involvement in the industry necessary while the R&D projects and the facilitating interaction between the R&D and academics. So human resource development for this both formal and informal education system should be viewed for the manpower who deal with the changing environments. Okay, so now super intelligence, sufficient intelligence AI system can redesign itself, can create a better success system, and which creates fear. Data security and the privacy issue are there. Limited AI expertise are there. Lack of AI and the clouds computing is there. Lack of advertisement, investment, and high implementing costs are there. So what we do? India's strength, the AI large young population is there, so we can use our demographic dividend in the AI. Second, emerging startup ecosystem, we have the IIT, IIM, NIT. We can use that startup, innovating development solution for the education, health, and financial service, solve the societal problem. AI in all strategies, so building AI solutions for the a trusted nation which is world can outsource the AI network. India digital footprints is the UPI and Aadhaar with the massive digital infrastructure create a unique opportunity for the AI to be leveraged to enhance the transparency and improve the governance. So Asilomer AI principle are what are the Asilomer AI principle? Research like research of goal, culture, funding, avoidance, race avoidance, scientific policy. Now ethics and valor. Ethics and valor is safety, liberty, privacy, transparency, benefits, uh, judicial transparency, shared prosperity, responsibility, human control, value alignment, non-subversion, human value, AI, race, personal privacy. Longer term issue is the capacity question, recursive and important self-improvement and the risk common goods. So longer term issues, capacity and importance and self-improvement and common goods are there. Now additive manufacturing, 3D printing, What are the 3D printing? See, it's a 3D CAD modes, STL file, slicing software, layer slice tool path, 3D printer, 3D objects. So first of all, aerospace defense landing gear, small surveillance drones and launchers, jet engine components, repair the turbine, and in automobile engineering like engine components and the boxes are there, engine controls. Healthcare is the manufacturing of the surgical instruments, surgical model, dental grounds and the spin. Consumers are the electronics, jewelry, shoes and toys. Electronics warehouse device for robotics structure and the RFID radio frequency identification device is there. So we see like national strategy for the additive manufacturing, promote the various vertical and the EM known 3D printing, including the machine material software designed to leverage the untapped business opportunity that will unfold the near future. So it will be further accelerate execution recommendation for laid down the national electronics policy, and its objective is the ensured creation of the sustainable ecosystem for the EM industry, position India for the global innovation and research, and promote the creation of industrial IPR. Creation of the AM position India at the forefront of the development of the technology. So engineering curriculum suitable for the bachelor and master degree developed through the industry, introduce the NIT, IIT, define the technology, construct a three-dimensional object from a digital 3D model and computer-aided design. So the additional material can happen in multiple ways, namely power deposition, filament and the design curing. So deposition, solidification, control computer to create a three-dimensional objects, method, contrast, subtractive nature, removing parts of block material to order to create a desired shape, and cutting wood's useful shape. Instance, very simple example of subtractive process. So USA markets have 36%, EU has 26%, India holds 1.4% just. So what we want to additive manufacturing over the different sector. First of all, economic impacts. AM technology will enable fast and cost-effective manufacturing. It will allow the participation of global value chain, thereby developing new technology-driven industry job. Environment impacts like the development of new material technology which more energy resources efficient, alleviate its carbon footprint and increase the energy security. Innovation, it allows the removing the design constraints without the risk of the high expenditure, therefore boosting innovations. Production of customized implants like reduction in healthcare costs due to the minimum re-intervention enabled. So we want government policy to incentivize the market access policy should be adopted to incentivize the provided support and the international R&D partnerships so that promote the Indian ancillary company and through the bilateral multilateral cooperation. Skilling and upskilling, high equivalent material, lack of ecosystem, we have lack of skilled manpower, we monopoly of the AM markets in the foreign equipment manufacturing. Legal ethical issues are there, like raise the critical ethical issues especially around the bioprinting, which is many ways issue of raised by the gene editing. Okay, now next is PM Vani scheme. Is a PM Vani is assess a network interface, is a wireless network technology that allow the device such as computer, mobile device and smartphone equipments, printers and video cameras to wireless LAN local area network. So these devices are many and more exchange information and other creating network. Wireless network is the operating three essential elements: radio signal, antenna and the router. So it's a mobile data work essentially for the Wi-Fi. Bigger difference that signal come mobile service provide the internet service. So Bluetooth and Wi-Fi can use providing the wireless communication. Bluetooth is the connect the short range for the sharing information, and Wi-Fi provide the high speeds web data. Range of the Bluetooth is about the 10 meter, and Bluetooth is number of device can be connect. Wi-Fi is open to the all the device. Bluetooth is because it's require only each connecting device. So aim to elevate the wireless internet connectivity ecosystem will be different players such as public data office aggregators, app provider. So it's a set up the provider Wi-Fi service for the speed throughout. So it's a bulk bandwidth and resell to multiple to ensure the Wi-Fi connectivity and national-wide network to public Wi-Fi hotspot term the PDO public open office concepts. And government to set up the national-wide network. So government develop an app to register user and discover money compliance, and will also be able to verify the custom credit cards, and Wi-Fi service done electronically. Cache is a central registry maintained that provides the begin with the registry with the maintained Center for Development and Telematics shall make the necessary provision for storage of used data for 1 year, and use the data privacy will be ensured. The app provides for the used data and uses logs so broadband internet through the public Wi-Fi network, and customer wanting to access the network that promise can do only when the eKYC authentication is there. Significance of the PM Wi-Fi is the cost effective, like easier scale that adding to the mobile tower bolster the connectivity in the airports, and where mobile network penetrating limited to Wi-Fi use the free unlicensed spectrum and Wi-Fi hardware cheap and widely adopted. Enhance the usage of public Wi-Fi network, reduce the loads on telecom service provided limited spectrum. So decongest telecom network capacity utilization is for the large and high capacity fiber network on Bharat broadband network, Railtel and Gale. All this we can use PM Vani on online. Boost the GDP. 10% of India and the internet penetration leads to 1.4% increase of GDP. An important place in the last mile delivery of the broadband. So the Indian telecom service performance indicator TRI broadband penetration is the limited 29%. It creates job opportunity and the business and IT and the app development, cyber security. Public Wi-Fi accessibility prone to the security attacks, so we want the no misuse of unauthorized access. Financial state of technical sector is like deterrent of Wi-Fi development country. Lack of supporting infrastructure like semi-urban areas not have towers. Customers are facing issue with the manual action of the periodic logging of the Wi-Fi, and right of way issue complex procedure across the state, non-uniformities and obtaining approval from the various government. So Wi-Fi hotspot deployment as per the Indian population. So India government should strategic according to the focus of village and handle the PDO, DOT and every safe handling of protocol with the aspect of storage, sharing, encryption and the well documented enforced consumer education and health holding has a part of the overall development of strategy to build the trust and accessibility, seamless Wi-Fi roaming. People can easily access the Wi-Fi. Now narrowband Internet of the Things. It's a BSNL in the partnership with the Skylotech India announced the world first satellite-based narrowband IoT network in India. This is vision to digital India to provide affordable, innovative telecom service. India will now have access to the ubiquitous fabric of connectivity of yet unconnected machines, sensor, industrial IoT. The new Made in the India solution connect with the BSNL satellites and infrared, provides the pan-India coverage with the it's a support Department of Telecommunication and NITI Aayog bringing indigenous IoT connectivity in the core sector and already tested the railway, fishing and the enabling connectivity of the vehicle. So the about the narrowband Internet of Things is the wireless communication standard for the Internet of Things belonging to the category of low power wire area networks. Internet of Things is referred to the billions of physical devices around the world that connected to the internet. All the sharing data enabled to the connect device and needs small amount of data. So 2G, 3G, 4G doesn't operate in the linear LTE, but it's a 200 kilohertz bonds and global system for the mobile communication and locating the IoT operation in there. So it's a smart city infrastructure such as the connecting the street lamp, dustbin, connecting the various industry application, tracking the person's animal objects, measuring the health parameter, and for fire alarm, smart metering and the electricity, gas and water. We can use narrowband internet things in many areas. And now extended long range coverage areas is deep penetration. Now integrate the cellular system and then 10-year battery life is there, and the secure the reliable industry standards basic as per this. Now next one is space. So space exploration at the glance. Evolution of the space exploration is the space race era competition between the USSR, US to achieve the superiority, and then China, Japan, Canada and European countries are there. Now 1997 onwards there is the renewable hardware and the cooperation between the countries. This was the, and then after 1990 there was a 2.0 space canon of the commercialization, democratization and the Industrialization. India as a major space faring nation. ISRO has the 79 launching mission and 111 space mission. So remarkable, launching 104 satellites into the orbits. Efforts has been taken encourage the space exploration. National Space Promotion Authorization Center in space activity bill changing the approach of India's space exploration activity. Factor predominance, security concerns are there. So research, innovation, applications in the everyday life. Solar panels are there, and experiments like betterment of the public health and safety. Space mining for the infinite supply of the precious sources, and study of the environment helped in the understanding the climate change and attract the young people in the science, technology and engineering. Fulfill people curiosity about the universe, affects humanity. Application of the life, uniqueness of earth, means to address the global challenge like the trust building, diplomacy and the protecting the earth from the catastrophic event. Insights, circular economy based on the recycling and the waste management, manage space system. So regulation of the outer space. First, the Outer Space Treaty 1961, Research Agreement 1968, Liability Convention 1972, Registration and the Moon Agreements. So United Nations Committee on the Peaceful Use of Outer Space, debating issue of the international space law policy. Emerging challenges are the militarization of the weaponization, cyber attacks are there, increased space traffics are there, ethical concerns like space-based data collections and polarization of the space is the formation of the oligarchy. Now, eco sites like irresponsible manufacturing space object, uneven distributions of benefits and the obsolete space laws. So way forward is devising new norms and rules for the space, fostering the international cooperation, the code of conduct and the prevention of arms race and the outer space 2030, leadership roles to forming a comprehensive regime, and the recognition of the intellectual property in the space, ensure the active participation and deliberation for the peaceful use of the outer space, and more national and organizational approach is needed in the space. Now, development role of the Indian space for the agriculture. ISRO carry out the crop production forecast to other major crops and improve the crop condition for the productivity. Remote sensing satellite data. Rural development is the ISRO and village resource center to provide the space better rural and telemedicine, teleeducation, panchayat and the marketing. Resource management. ISRO has the Earth observation satellites provide the effective management of natural resources. Railway sector is the application of the space technology guarding unmanned railway crossing and detecting the obstructing object of the railway. Education is the EduSet provide the connecting to school, college and the higher level of education and non-formal education for the development communication. Disaster management is using the geostar Bhuvan to address the various natural disaster using the space. Navigation with the Indian constellation is the Navik is independent regional navigation satellite development and maintain India application include the maritime field and mobile phones. Infrastructure development for the ISRO technology and the infrastructure. Urban development is for the provide the accurate information on the current. Now, main space mission. Recently, NASA launched the first full-fledged human mission using the privately owned spacecraft. So, Crew mission is the NASA first commercial human spacecraft mission for the Indian space station. So, SpaceX Crew Dragon is called the Resilience. First of 6 crewed mission is the NASA and the SpaceX will NASA commercial crew program. Is crew program for the NASA SpaceX. This is a commercial mission. Main space mission is the sending human abroad beyond the gravity of the earth, and until only US, Russia and China have managed to send the main mission into outer space. Now, what are the challenges for the India to carry out the main space mission? Financial challenges for the exorbitantly huge investment we need for the heli technology. Initial cost of the Gaganyaan was projected 12 crore. Now, however, ISRO is required to complete the projects with the budget 10,000 crore. Technological challenge, mastering the complex re-entry and the recovery technology. Crew escape system, developing the regenerating environments in the spacecraft. Need for heavier rockets. Training astronaut aware about the celestial objects and rockets and communication about the major challenge. India human spacecraft program is initiated. ISRO developed the technology needed launch the orbital spacecraft low Earth orbit. It first unmanned mission to plan the December Gaganyaan is designed to carry three Indian astronauts to the low Earth orbit, and its takeoff the GSLV Mk3, which photon satellites in a geosynchronous transfer orbit. So Gaganyaan National Advisory Council is for the members from different institutions and the industry to deliberate the various aspects of mission. Gaganyaan include the space capsule recovery and the module for atmospheric experiments, and GSLV Mk reusable launch vehicle, and the demonstrate the crew escape system and paired aboard the stage. Significance of Gaganyaan is significance value India space activity, giving space to the space diplomacy and the impact the national security as per the result increasingly strategic domain spin-off and technology. Now related human space policy, the Department of Space for a public consultation draft human in the space policy in 2021. Applicability like guideline applicable to activities for postulate Indian human space program and for the activity which shall be defined the carried out the future conjunctions. It advises the understanding demonstration human space flight and short term and the foundation of sustained exploration of the long term that will be enable the LEO and beyond. Leveraging the existing experiment demonstrate the human space capability will leverage the expertise ISRO, National Research Institute, academia, industry and organization, various technological elements and human related launch vehicle, environment control support system, technological innovation, advancement, scientific discovery of the space industrial competitiveness. We need hand-holding and approach and transparent framework, empower employment generation for the ISRO and Gaganyaan mission, create 15,000 new employments, enhance public involvement in human space program, fulfilling the ISRO term of objective. So it's a modernization technology and the infrastructure, leveraging the private sector for expanding the international collaboration and the training supports for Gaganyaan, and collaboration provide the better choices. So doing away for the bureaucratic hurdles and due bureaucratic hustle for the private should be give to ensure the R&D and seamless capacity building for the technology, space science and space application. Now we will discuss the Artemis Accords after that, after some time.